there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show. Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? So excited to be back here with you. It's just me this week, but I like it that way. Get a little alone time with you because I'm super excited for today's episode. It's one about a month in the making. Well, much longer. I'll explain in a moment. But one I've been really looking forward to sharing with you. It's lessons learned from a dream come true. But before I dive in, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping and let you know that this is going to be my final episode for the summer. Y'all, I am busy. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be as busy as I am, serving clients in a one-on-one setting and helping so many amazing humans cultivate confidence for the summer and the semester and seasons and life ahead. And knowing that I am so busy doing my coaching, I'm going to take some time away from the podcast so that I can come up with incredible content for you, some new episodes as we get into fall and back to school. So not going anywhere for too long, but going to do some travel and serve my clients and come back rested, recharged, and with some incredible content for you. That being said, if you have an episode that you've been waiting for me to record, a resource that you would need, if you have some, please reach out to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting off the air for a little bit. So email me, lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. And if you want to get on the wait list for fall for your teen to do one-on-one confidence coaching, you can go over to confidencecoachforteens.com and get on my email list so I can get you all the details that you would need. Reach out to me. You know where to find me. You just won't find me here next month. All right. I'll miss you. In that time, please go into the archives. If you haven't listened to some of those episodes, it's a great time to catch up. You can binge me like your favorite Netflix series. But that's why I wanted to have my farewell for the season episode focus on lessons learned from a dream come true. As some of you know, in May, I had the opportunity to give a TED Talk at my alma mater, Columbia College. And when I say this is a dream come true, it's a dream come true in many ways. If you go into my journals over the past couple of years, you'll see that one of the things that I dreamed about was giving a TED Talk. But if you've known me since I was a little one, or if you listened to the TED Talk, which I will also put in show notes, a link for you to tune into it, you'll know that being on a stage has always been a dream of mine. I know I've talked about on the show here before, back in my day, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be on a stage. The character I'm most confident playing is myself. So one of my girlfriends from middle school always teased that I would, be Ricky Lake or have my own talk show so I could still be me, but be on that stage, talking to the masses and using my voice as an opportunity to help inspire, motivate, change people. It's what got me on this microphone when I launched my practice, was to be able to, I know not everyone can coach with me, but when I show up on this microphone, I have the opportunity to talk to all of you, to inspire you, to be that cheerleader in your corner or that bestie in your brain that says, you've got this. I believe in you. Go. So to be on the TED Talk stage truly was a dream come true. And I wanted to share some of the lessons that I learned from it because I know if you're tuning in here week after week, you too will have dreams coming true. You are going to go out into your world and create what it is you want. I can't wait to see what you do. But I want to offer you some of what I learned on the other side of mine to prepare you, to inspire you, to educate, motivate, all the feels. Here it is. One of the lessons that I learned was the one thing that you think will change everything never changes everything. The one thing that you think, this is it. As soon as this happens, then, right? We talk about the as soon as often, that as soon as thinking. As soon as I have that, then everything will change. And there's such fault in the as soon as. And we're going to talk about that a little bit, about, not believing in yourself until you have the evidence for it, right? But I think that we think as soon as that happens, then I will believe in myself. Then everything will change. It never does. I giggle because I remember back in my PR days, I would have clients come into the office and say, we just want to go viral. Can you make us go viral? Like as soon as they go viral, then everything will change. And it doesn't work like that. And I think in this era of seeing so many people go viral or become influencers or have this, massive following, we think that's what I need. Because if I have that, truly think about that. If I have that, then I can believe in myself. Then I've got that proof that I've been looking for. Nothing changes everything. What happens on the other side of a dream come true, it changes you. Dreams coming true don't change everything. They change you. And that's what matters even more. I've talked about this, about the believing in you before you have evidence. And if you've been here for a while, you know that self-confidence, that holy grail emotion that I know so many of us seek, is rooted in loving and believing in you. And a lot of times I think we feel like we need a reason, like proof, to love and believe in ourselves. And this is so normal. Like, it's so normal to think like, well, I don't have the evidence to believe in me, and I really don't have the evidence to love me. I don't have that as soon as. I still have a lot of those not enough thoughts, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not fill in the blank enough. And it's so normal because if your brain is doing what your brain is wired to do, it's probably really easy to find reasons not to love and believe in you. Your brain is like a biased Rolodex that chronicles and catalogs every time you've failed, every time you've fallen short, every time you've missed the mark. Every mess up or cringe-worthy moment, I promise you, is likely imprinted in that beautiful brain of yours. Because your mind, it files that away as danger, right? All those mess ups, all those failures, all those shortcomings, your brain's like, this was dangerous. We felt a negative emotion. It's bad. Let's never do that again. Let's chronicle it, catalog it, so we know not to do it again. Now remember, your brain's only job is to keep you safe and alive, which of course means avoiding danger. So it's keeping a running tab of these dangerous moments, using danger very, very ironically here. It's keeping a tab on those moments for you. I want you to think about this. If I asked you to list out right now, to pause me and list out 10 amazing things about you and what you've accomplished in your life, would you have that list like at the ready? Like, oh yeah, Leslie, I got it. I keep it in my wallet, or I keep it in my fanny pack. Probably not, right? Unless you've been in my world for a while and you've trained your brain to start seeing these things. Now, if I asked you to give me 10 times you've screwed up or missed the mark, felt embarrassed, or been rejected. Now, could you recite that list like the alphabet? Probably. Now, this isn't a sign that you are a screw up or you're failing. In fact, it means your brain is operating exactly how your brain should operate. And this is why we need to train our brains to find and focus on the good. Remember, on its default setting, your brain will not allow you to believe in you. Believing in you means you might go after goals. Believing in you means you might start taking risks. Believing in you means you might leave your comfort zone. You know what your brain thinks about that? Danger. It's not. And you know that rationally as you listen to me on your walk or driving or sitting on your couch. You're like, no, I know going after a goal isn't dangerous. I know I can do it. And rationally, you also know what exists on the other side of those goals. What exists when you choose to take those risks and leave your comfort zone. But in order to get there, you have to choose to believe in you. Even before you have the evidence, right? I had no evidence that I could do this TED Talk. I had no evidence that I could do a podcast, right? I had to believe in me and be willing to go after that goal, to take that risk, to leave my comfort zone. But you got to believe first. Now, on the other side of those goals, those risks, that when you're in the discomfort zone, when you've made it there, when you've trained your brain to say, like, I'm willing to feel these feels, I'm willing to do this, then you'll have the evidence. That's the as soon as. You've got the proof. After the TED Talk, I had proof. I could do it. And that's what I mean when I say you change. Everything doesn't change. You change. Your belief in you strengthens. Those deliberate thoughts and bestie beliefs that we talk about so much over here are more believable when you have evidence of them. And moments like giving a TED Talk absolutely underscores those beliefs that I've yearned for with frequency. And on the days that my belief in me falters, because believe it or not, even as a self-confidence coach, I still got a human brain. I can still tell you 10 ways I've screwed up since breakfast. But I train my brain to see the good. But on those days where it's hard, because there are days it's hard, there are failures. And it's really easy for your brain to then go, yeah, it's not working. It's not going to happen. I don't know why we chose to believe in ourselves. That's when I can go into my evidence file of like, but I've done it before. And even if I don't have the evidence that I've done it before, I have evidence that it pays to believe in me. Similarly, but another lesson I learned is savor the feelings that you feel in the moments of dreams come true. And I'm going off script here for a moment. I want to, this is like a life lesson, right? This isn't a dream come true lesson. This is savor the moments of our lives. They're precious. All of them. Savor that feeling of gratitude when you're sitting with someone you love. Savor that moment of joy when you see your child laughing. Savor that moment of pride when you ace that test or make the team. Because right after those incredible highs, those beautiful moments of life goes back to the way it was before. Like, see above, go rewind. The one thing you think changes everything, it never does. It changes you. Which means everything else and everyone else in your life is exactly the same as they were after those moments, right? So what do I mean? This was a laugh I had when I got home from the TED Talk. My daughter still needed to go to Girl Scouts. My son was still more interested in video games than he was about mom coming home, right? He was actually adorable. I have the cutest photo of him at the TED Talk, and he was super proud. And in that moment, he was so proud. He was so loving, and he actually said to my husband, I guess, after they were leaving, he goes, man, mom was real good. I guess he didn't have belief in me. But when I got home, it wasn't like the world stopped. He was, playing his Madden. And my husband still needed to be reminded to empty the dishwasher. Like, everything had stayed the same. Now Now you might be thinking like, Leslie, who do you think you are? You're not royalty. You gave a TED Talk. But yeah, for 15 minutes there, I was a pretty big deal. It was glorious. And then at 1:30, I turned back into a pumpkin. I'm kidding, of course, because the moments change you. Everyone and everything else, for the most part, stays the same. So when one of my clients achieves a goal and has one of those incredible moments, those highs, or they're feeling so confident, what I often remind them and tell them to do, and I did this myself, is write yourself a letter of how you feel in that moment and what you believe about you in those moments. Like I said, on those days when your brain has a human moment, when you go back to sometimes doubting yourself, you now have written evidence from you, the most trustworthy source in the world of like, I'm so proud of you. You are incredible. I can't believe what you did. I'm so inspired that you didn't give up, right? Whatever it is for you, write yourself a letter of how you feel after those moments, because you can then come back to it. And when I say the most trustworthy source, remember, self-confidence does not come from the external validation. That feels real good, believe me. But self-confidence is an inside job. So when you write yourself a letter of how it felt, what you're thinking about you, what you're believing about you, that's coming from you. Another lesson I learned was one that I had learned. It was one of the first concepts I got from my coach training about how circumstances are neutral, right? So what does that mean? Well, the TED Talk, it's not good or bad. It's neutral, right? It's my thoughts about it that will make it good or bad, or your thoughts about it that make it good or bad for you, right? The circumstances of your life. Now, like if you hate public speaking, then this would not have been a dream come true for you. This would have been awful. You're like, I have to give a what? And so many people who I said, I get to do this. They're like, oh, I would never. And here I am saying like, it's everything I've ever wanted. And it's all because of the thoughts that we have about it, the thoughts we think about the circumstances of our life. And this is true with everything. You might remember the episode, and if you haven't tuned in, be sure to do so this summer. The one with my sister, when she had this laundry list of health issues, and she was remembering how I went on to tell her that it was all neutral, and it was her thoughts about it that made her sad or mad. Yeah, it didn't go over very well, but it was early in my career, and I was still learning how to live with that tool, right? I think when we first learn something, we're so, we can only see it one way. We're very black and white about it. And then as we learn to live with it and work with it, we are able to go into the gray, right? There's no right way. There's no wrong way. There's just ways, and the ways that we make right with it. So obviously now I'm much less black and white about it, but still agree for the most part. And it is such an empowering belief that circumstances, they're neutral, except for good weather. That's not neutral. Good weather has the power to make you happy. If you live in the Midwest, you totally agree. But I tease. You get to decide what you make the circumstances of your life mean. And how you choose to think about them will determine how you feel, and in turn, how you show up. This is true with TED Talks, or talks with friends, texts from friends, everything. How you choose to view it will determine the meaning you assign to it, will determine how you feel. Your perspective is your power, and how you choose to look at something will inform what you do and don't do moving forward. Now, I will forever choose to believe that being on that stage, it was a dream come true. And it was a reminder that as long as you believe in yourself and allow that belief to fuel you and keep fueling you, even after every failure, every time you think it's going to work out and it doesn't, and you have to pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. But as long as you keep going and keep believing, you will succeed. I share this today so you can borrow that belief and go into your world and make your dreams come true too. And I hope you will reach out and tell me the lessons that you learn on the other side of them. I'm cheering you on for all of it. All right, y'all. I'll be back soon. Till next time. Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.